Alright, YouTube, we are back with a couple updates in regards to, I guess, kind of gaming news, if you want to call it that. We have one thing in regards to Summer Game Fest, Square Enix potentially teasing something for Summer Game Fest, and we have a state of play confirmed for tomorrow. When it comes to Square Enix teasing something for Summer Game Fest, it's somewhat reminiscent of what they did with Rebirth back in 2023, where they were dropping dev comments on Twitter, like kind of counting down the days leading up to Summer Game Fest back then. It came to those specifically, the first one was labeled Developer Comment 1, so we knew there was going to be more than one of those, and they kind of clicked for people pretty quickly that we're exactly 7 days away from Summer Game Fest. It's probably leading up to something, and obviously that did indeed happen. What we have here is similar but different. Yesterday, the Square Enix account tweeted out simply Kain Highwind, which is a little bit strange, right? Like, what the hell is the point of that? But when you really think about it, it's Kain Highwind from Final Fantasy IV. And yesterday, June 2nd, was exactly 4 days before Summer Game Fest. What exactly are they teasing? That's kind of the question here, right? We're not entirely sure. Some people are hopeful because it was a Final Fantasy IV thing that maybe it's in regards to the game, like a Final Fantasy IV remake, which would be cool. Regardless, they're obviously teasing something. They don't normally, to the best of my knowledge, just tweet out random character names, right? Like, they'll definitely talk about characters, but it's usually in celebration of, like, their birthday or something. I think, like, exactly a month ago, they tweeted out about, Tifa's birthday, for example. I knew I wanted to kind of talk about this and cover it, but I wanted to wait till today to see if they did anything, which they didn't, which is a little kind of underwhelming and confusing, but it might matter to what we'll talk about next. But it does kind of suck that they didn't do something today, like something like Final Fantasy III related to kind of continue counting down to Summer Game Fest, but that might matter for a reason. Now, this is a little bit tinfoil hat, but it is a nice observation from people in the community, and it's that it's Kain Highwind from Final Fantasy IV, right? It's KH4, potentially a subtle little tease for something Kingdom Hearts 4 at Summer Game Fest, potentially. I think it's actually a really good observation from people in the community, like something I would never would have even thought of or even crossed my mind at all. And it might explain why they didn't do anything today, like for the 3 days away or whatever. Because you think if they were just counting down to Summer Game Fest in general, there would have been something today, FF3 related or just 3 related in general. And as I'm recording right now, we're already past the time when they tweeted out the Kain Highwind thing. Because when it came to like the Rebirth tweets that we got, a couple years ago, those were uploaded every single day at 8 a.m. my time at least. And when it came to the Kain Highwind tweet, that was 10 a.m. my time yesterday. And right now it's almost noon. It could still, in theory, put out something in regards to the number 3 today. Like maybe sometime later today, they just tweet out like a, Final Fantasy 3 character Onion Knight or something like that. Whatever. At least as of right now, they went past when you expect them to tweet again if they were just going to keep counting down to Summer Game Fest. So there's a purpose to Kain Highwind, Final Fantasy IV, 4 days before Summer Game Fest. Is it something in regards to Kingdom Hearts 4? Potentially. Some people are kind of skeptical, and I think they're just kind of burnt out from Square Enix in general, but also how they handled the Kingdom Hearts franchise. But I think it's definitely possible. For one, I think Kingdom Hearts 4 has been in development since like right after Kingdom Hearts 3, right? In some level, they started Kingdom Hearts 4 right after Kingdom Hearts 3. We obviously got a trailer more than 3 years ago. We got screenshots very recently that have updated character models, so there's like a new build of the game. The trailer we got more than 3 years ago was very good looking, right? Like it looked like the game was in a very good state. So I think it's perfectly reasonable to expect a trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4 kind of at any point. That doesn't mean it's necessarily coming out soon. Maybe it could still be another year or two away or whatever, but goddamn, it's been a long time since we got our last trailer, and the game's been in development for more than 6 years. I know their games have a very bad history of development time. It took 13 years to get to Kingdom Hearts 3, but there's shit in between that. It wasn't like they were just working on Kingdom Hearts 3 for 13 years and that was it. There was obviously a bunch of shit in between. Regardless of the speculation, they're clearly teasing something, right? They didn't put out a Final Fantasy IV reference 4 days before Summer Game Fest for no reason. There's something being teased. It is a Final Fantasy game they're using, so it could be something Final Fantasy related. Again, maybe specifically Final Fantasy IV. That remains to be seen, but it gets us a little bit more excited. Now that they're actually teasing something for Summer Game Fest, there's actually a little bit of hype going into it now. Moving on from that, we got State of Play tomorrow. State of Play returns tomorrow, June 4th. Watch live at 2 p.m. PT, 11 p.m. CEST on YouTube and Twitch for news and updates on great games coming to PS5. And the article they link to says, State of Play returns June 4th. Watch live for news and updates on must-play games coming to PS5. The show highlights a selection of great games from creators across the globe. The 40-plus minute show begins June 4th at 2 p.m. PT, 5 p.m. ET, 11 p.m. CEST, June 5th at 6 a.m. JST on YouTube and Twitch, and will be broadcast in English. See you then. They're definitely a good size State of Play because they vary in length. They can be like 15-20 minutes. They can be upwards of 30-40 minutes and shit. So it's kind of nice that it's a bigger showcase. Right ahead of Summer Game Fest too, which is interesting. But obviously we highlight the State of Plays just because there is potential for Square Enix to be here. Really just in like a general sense because they are just popular events. Every State of Play gets a lot of views. But also, even though Square Enix is moving away from the exclusivity shit and they want to move to the multi-platform strategy and all that other stuff, there's probably still exclusives in place for stuff like the Remake trilogy. There's maybe other games out there coming from Square Enix that maybe already have some sort of exclusivity with PlayStation that we just haven't seen yet. But obviously with the Final Fantasy series recently, but specifically the Remake trilogy, we know those have some sort of timed exclusivity, right? And I imagine Part 3 was locked in place however long ago. Now, how long will the exclusivity be? Who knows? Like, that remains to be seen. But I imagine Part 3 is going to be PS5 exclusive for a set amount of time, right? So it makes sense that they would maybe have a reveal for Part 3 at a PlayStation event at some point. Would that be the first trailer we get, the teaser trailer? Would that be a trailer down the line? Would they do a State of Play exclusive for the third game like they did for Rebirth? Like, that all remains to be seen. But it would make some sense potentially to have a trailer at a State of Play at some point. And we're obviously talking about 7 Remake here, but there could be other things from Square Enix at State of Play, like the 9 Remake if they want to reveal their Tactics Remaster, if that ever fucking happens. Kingdom Hearts 4 potentially, but again, we're looking towards Summer Game Fest for that. Dragon Quest 12 and kind of any other thing that maybe is in the pipeline. I guess Dragon Quest 1 and 2, if you want to throw that out there, I guess, but we already know that exists, so it's not as exciting. In the same regard, you could just flip those, right? A lot of those games could be at Summer Game Fest as opposed to a State of Play, right? You could have the 9 Remake revealed at Summer Game Fest. I would say of the two, Summer Game Fest is going to get the most views, right? That's, I think it's tens of millions of views usually, like that in the Game Awards and stuff. So, like, that's probably the better event to show off your game, but both of them will have a lot of eyes on them, right? In regards to, like, the 7 Remake stuff, like, we know Square Enix is at Summer Game Fest. That's kind of the difference here. Like, there's possibility for stuff at State of Play, but we know Summer Game Fest, Square Enix, and they're teasing something, potentially with the Final Fantasy franchise, with the Final Fantasy 4 reference. So I think it's the more likely candidate, but you couldn't go wrong having something at State of Play too. Also on Sunday, June 8th, 2 days after the main Summer Game Fest event we're looking forward to, is the Xbox showcase for Summer Game Fest, and Square Enix could be there in multiple capacities. But with the Final Fantasy franchise, they can maybe finally announce, like, Intergrade coming to Xbox and also Final Fantasy 16. Like, those are definitely happening eventually. Like, it doesn't matter about leaks or anything in regards to that shit, because those were always going to happen. Those were always coming to Xbox eventually. Maybe this weekend will be the time they finally announce it or something. Who knows? But maybe they'll fucking keep putting it off for another year or two. Who the hell knows? Regardless, it's definitely a big week, my dude. State of Play tomorrow, Summer Game Fest this weekend. Like, there's a lot of possibilities here. A lot of things could happen. A lot of games could be shown off. We're obviously looking to Remake Part 3. 9 Remake as well. Kingdom Hearts 4, I'm there for that. Dragon Quest 12. Like, there's a lot of things I want to see. I want to be shown off. Show my eyes of this shit. Give me something, Square Enix. Please, dear God. You're at the event. You're teasing the event. It's time to show us something, please. If there's any other kind of, like, updates or teases from Square Enix in regards to Summer Game Fest, we'll definitely cover that at some point. We'll kind of keep the hype going. The hype is in check. The expectations in check. But we'll try to keep the hype going just in case. There's got to be something, right? They're teasing the event. There's got to be something. I don't know what it is. I don't know what that something is. But they're fucking teasing the event for something. So it's at least exciting. At least there's something to maybe look forward to on Square Enix's end. Holy shit, please. God. I can't say it enough. Please give us something. Of course, that's where I pass off to you guys. The number one thing is, what do you think Square Enix is teasing? They're clearly teasing something Summer Game Fest. Kain, Highwind, Final Fantasy 4 days before Summer Game Fest. What the fuck is that tease, right? And what do you think we can see there? And then also, State of Play tomorrow. Like, do you think we're going to get anything from Square Enix? And in general, since you guys keep up with the game and shit more than I do, I'm just in this, like, Square Enix bubble. Like, what do you expect to see with State of Play? Like, what's supposed to be there? Anyways, that's the video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Just in the description below. Follow me on Twitter, @DashingdavidYT. That's it. Bye.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it with no shame. We blow that like Coltrane. We in here like Low Gain, or leave it like Cobain.